Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Mauritanian. And this is from director Kevin MacDonald, starring Tahar Rahim, Jodie Foster, Shailene Woodley, and Benedict Cumberbatch. And this is about Mahamadou Salahi, who was a prisoner at Guantanamo Bay for years. And he was held there without ever being charged, and played by Rahim in this film, and Foster and Shailene Woodley's characters are lawyers who come in to try to be his lawyers and fight for him to get released. And you have Cumberbatch, who's playing the military man who's going to be prosecuting him. And throughout this film, you have these different aspects coming together. You have Tahir Rahim's performance as Salahi, as there's some points where it's flashing back to his story and what's going on with how how he was treated over the course of these years being at Guantanamo Bay. And you have these scenes where Jodie Foster's character is reading his diaries, his accounts of these things, and you have these different shift of aspect ratio. The cinematography is more grainy, and you have this look to it. And that's where the film gets more interesting, is especially which Kevin MacDonald has done films like Last King of Scotland, which that had a particular look to it, and these flashback sequences has that particular look. There's a visual taste to it. A lot of the scenes where it's just in our regular time, or at least the present in the story, it's kind of just bland and gray. There are some inspired camera movements, but in general it's just kind of there. In these scenes, there's a little bit more personality, and Rahim gives a really strong performance, and you have these moments as they progress throughout the film. You get to see what they did to him, the torture, and these are really intense, thrilling scenes that bring a lot of life to the film. And those are the highlights, because the rest of the film feels like a pretty by-the-numbers legal drama, and it doesn't really grab you. I never really cared too much at all, really, about this storyline with Benedict Cumberbatch's character. And he has this haircut and this like Sam Elliott kind of accent, and you're just like, I was put off a little bit by some of the choices they had for Cumberbatch's character, but you never really care too much. And he has this conflict with his friends, played by Zachary Levi, which don't really take him seriously, and he's supposed to be this man who is doing this torturing and these terrible things. And so I never really felt connected to that. This film's 2 hours and 9 minutes. There could have been some trimming there to make this a little more streamlined. Shailene Woodley's kind of just there to be a particular idea in this scenario. Foster's character doesn't have a whole lot of depth, but she goes on this journey of switching between being somebody there to just fight for what's right legally to somebody who actually cares about this plight that Salahi's going through. And Foster gives a really strong performance as well. Not surprised she got nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Was pretty surprised that she actually won at the Golden Globes. But in general, this film is a tale of two films, and one of them is considerably more interesting than the other. And you spend a lot of time not with Salahi, who is really the heart and the soul of this film. I never really connected. I never got to like a Just Mercy level where I'm like, this is horrible atrocities. But I did care, and those scenes where you're seeing him go through these things, through torture and stuff like that, that's tough to watch. And in the end, I think The Mauritanian is really solid, which a little just kind of bland legal drama thrown in with some really effective and powerful thrilling moments and a strong central performance from Rahim. But in the end, I think this is a fine film. I think you should go check it out. And obviously, it's very relevant and interesting story in the context of, especially for myself who was a kid when 9/11 happened, and seeing all the ramifications and all these things that happened afterwards that I remember living through. And Would you rent this for $19.99? Probably not. Wait for it to get a little bit cheaper. But those are my thoughts on the Mauritanian. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.